these people run. That his blue-white deck runs like 7 basics or something. And this, you know, if Nick gets the Wasteland going, Ben is going to have a hard time keeping up. And looks like both players just play land and pass.
So Ben on the unhinged island.
It's just respectable. It's not what I would choose, but okay.
It's about my favorite one. And we have a Lingering Souls.
First play of the game. That's, you know, it's a hard spell to counterspell. It's, you know, he's going to do it, but it's, you know,
you don't feel great about it.
You do not feel great about it.
Now Spagnolo has double Underground Sea, and the third one's in his hand. Oh, and there's the fourth one. Oh, so he's got all 4 of his Underground Seas.
I got a feeling this is going to get shuffled, but
yeah,
maybe not. I mean, he does have. Well, maybe he just puts the fetch land on top.
Right, and then shuffles.
And he gets 2 lands because he can Wasteland. Well, I guess Ben doesn't have a way to actually flash it back yet. So, but he doesn't want, you know, obviously Nick doesn't want to get Jaced here or anything like that. So
plays
Inquisition
Island and Inquisition. All right, so we've got Force of Will, Brainstorm, Riptide Lab, Swords to Plowshares, and Swords to Plowshares.
Yep, there goes the Brainstorm. Those that hand is not very good against Nick. That path, that Swords, not doing much this match.
Weren't they both Swords? One was an alternate art.
Oh, swords. Okay, that was an alternate. You're right. But he top decks a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Stoneforge Mystic into Batterskull.
That will get him out of a lot.
That's Ben's modus operandi, I think. He's just like, that's what I do.
It's like, how am I going to win this match? I know, Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah.
Oh, though Nick has an Innocent Blood. So that kills Stoneforge.
That'll help, yeah.
That'll make it much harder for Ben to get his Batterskull into play. Looks like probably the Tundra goes to the Wasteland.
The Tundra, yeah.
And Life from the Loam.
Uh-oh. So now things are looking grim if Nick just keeps going with that.
Yeah, Ben draws another Tundra, but
Dredge.
Nick is just going to keep going.
Yeah, so he dredges a Bayou, a Underground Sea, and a Liliana to get back Life from the Loam. He's going to play Wasteland, waste your thing, cast Life from the Loam, get all those lands back.
Yep, and this is where this deck really shines. Ben did just draw a Delta, so he can get a second island. But he is, you know, barring him casting a Jace this turn, which he just doesn't have. And that's
wow.
To flashback the Lingering Souls.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But you know, it's only going to be a turn or two before Nick really has ways to deal with everything. Plus, he has a Knight's Soul Betrayal in his hand, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't get a good look. He just drew a counterspell.
So, you know, he has plenty of ways to sort of decimate Ben's board and then spend, you know, sway all its... Oh, there's his Knight's Soul Betrayal.
Yeah, there it is. So
plenty of time to...
wrath you.
To wrath him. Now, if Ben draws a land here, which it looks like he did, he can play Batterskull. And I cannot see if Nick has a...
It doesn't appear he has force. I think he's got counterspell, but it's not... Obviously, he's tapped out. So.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I would have played the Knight's Soul Betrayal there, but it's easy for me to say.
Yeah. Well, that's a weird-looking germ.
That is a very strange germ. It's a 3/3 germ, too.
Yeah.
That's important to remember. Batterskull, not quite as tough under a Knight's Soul Betrayal. And this whole Wasteland strategy is not as impressive when you're facing down a Batterskull.
Yeah.
And Ben drew another Stoneforge. Now, what else does he have to fetch with it?
So he hits. He's got a Jita, I know, in there. Don't remember any. I don't think any other. No other swords.
Yep, just a Jit. It looks like.
Yeah, he's got 2 of those, but one's in the sideboard.
Yep. And Nick has gone off the original plan. He is no longer looking to Wasteland Ben out. You know, now that he's got out the Batterskull. Yeah, there's just no way that's going to do it. Now, I'm not sure what life totals are right now. He's taking it. Yep, there we go. 24 to 12. Okay. So Nick just looking for something. He does not have a whole lot of ways to deal with Batterskull. once it's actually hit play. If he gets a Liliana, that will deal with it temporarily.
Yeah.
Though he does have the counter spells to sort of back that up enough.
He's got Innocent Blood, again, same kind of thing where it'll temporarily deal with it. But if he can, even temporarily dealing with it, and either forcing Ben to play something else to equip the Batterskull to, or looks like we have a counter war happening.
Right. Looks like that resolves. Oh, or
I'm not even sure what went on the stack where.
I think the Force Will countered it. And
so Force of Will was Force of Will trying to counter the Brainstorm? Is that what it was? Okay, and then there was a counter spell in there, and the Spell Snare hit the counter spell.
Right. So I believe that the Brainstorm was successfully countered.
Yeah, seems right to me. But yeah, so he can if Nick Innocent Bloods to just get the threat off the table. He may put Ben in a situation where he wants to return the Batterskull and replay it, and Nick can maybe deal with it on the way back down.
Right, though he doesn't have a whole lot really to deal with. And now there's some discrepancy they're talking about. We can't tell exactly what it is.
Right. We should get these subtitled.
Oh. That should be easy enough to figure out.
Yeah. Brainstorm, I forced it. I countered your force. I spell snared your counter spell. That was a hard cast force too, wasn't it?
It might have been.
Yeah, because that's what he. Yeah, he paid 5 and he fetched the other island for the spell snare.
Yeah, you're right. Don't see that a whole lot in Legacy.
No.
It's usually a very good sign when it happens, though. This turn, however, not as good of a sign. And yeah, they're trying to figure something out. Okay. Yep, he attacks. Looks like Nick goes to 6. He draws an Innocent Blood.
Yeah, there it is.
That is good. Puts Nick back in the game. Puts him back in a position where he can start life unloaming some more.
And Jace the Mind Sculptor gets Spell Pierce. Like it.
And I think we're gonna see. Yep, we're gonna see some loaming. Oh, we got a Tarpit too. Tarpit and a Mishra's. So he now has win conditions again. But we're probably going to see a
Wasted Glacial Fortress, right?
He is going to keep Ben as much as he can from playing anything productive. Now Ben, it looks like just drew a Lingering Souls.
That's not going to do very good with a Curse of Death Soul. I mean, not even Curse of Death Soul.
Yeah.
Kind of like Curse. Knight of Soul
with a Knight of Soul Betrayal Blade. Does not do a whole lot. A lot of cards in Ben's deck don't do a whole lot right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we were saying. I mean, it's just a one of.
Yeah.
But Nick is very well set up against the expected trend of Lingering Souls showing up in Legacy.
And his own Jace.
Wow.
And Ben does not have an answer for it.
Fate Seal.
On the bottom.
Put it away.
Now, on the bottom is unfortunate. There's nothing that feels worse than getting Fate Seal to leave it.
Yeah.
One of the worst feelings in the world.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great feeling to do it. I love it. Like, keep it.
Yeah,
it's
fine.
A second Mox Opal.
And, we're going to get Wastelanded again. So I think this game, unless Nick, messes something up with the dredge mechanic, I think he's in pretty good shape.
Well, he's brainstorming here. And
sees another Wasteland. He's going to Wasteland. Yep.
Waste your White Source.
White Source. Life and Loam returns Wasteland. I think we should say his Exploration right now.
Yeah. And yeah, I was going to say swing in with the Tar Pit.
He is taking every angle of attack.
Got to hit Ben 10 times with that Tar Pit.
Yeah, that's not going to be easy.
Well, if Ben can't cast spells, it's not going to be that difficult either.
It is, yeah. It's hard to win if you can't cast spells. Jace back to plussing.
Yeah.
It's 7 right now.
And I think that was a keep it.
I think that was a keep it.
So
Tarpit comes in.
Ben now has counterspell mana. And that's it.
And, yep, he draws a Stoneforge, but it's not going to do a whole lot.
Yeah, and he's got, what's it called? He's got Swords of Plowshares in his hand, but, can't cast it. Can't cast it. And Nick, wisely got rid of the white source before attacking with the Tar Pit.
Mm-hmm. And he's just going to Jace this. We get a Ponder, which gives Ben some chance of drawing something, but
he's got land, Spell Snare, something.
None of those kills a Jace, unfortunately, or gets him even up to the mana to play his own Jace. So, whether Ben knows it or not, he is effectively locked out of this game.
I mean, I think the I think it's all right there on board. I think he knows he's locked out of the game.
Yep, discards Lingering Souls. So he is just waiting to see make sure Nick doesn't do any procedural errors at this point, I think. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, not worth wasting the time on that, especially with
this kind of matchup.
Yeah.
You don't want, this is the kind of matchup where you don't necessarily want to go into game 2 behind, because, even if you win game 2, there may not be enough time for game 3.
Right. So looking at Nick's list, he's got he's got a Scavenging Ooze, which does a pretty good job of neutralizing or semi-neutralizing Lingering Souls. I like the Ooze, just a one of, but I like that. He's got 2 Vendilion Clicks to add in if he wants.
Dread of Night. That is a card we have not seen in a while. It is a 1 black enchantment that gives all white creatures -1/-1. He came in this tournament looking to destroy this deck.
I completely forgot about that. Jerry was telling me earlier that Nick was playing this. It's just like, I was like, wait a minute, what does Dread of Night do?
Those were the days.
The Sulfur Elemental.
Yeah, those are the days. Those are the days when they decided, when we're going to print color hosers, they are going to demolish your opponent.
Flash fires.
Yeah. Today we're just like, oh, Flash Freeze, that card's good to bring in against green and red. Before it's like, oh, this is one-sided Armageddon.
Yeah.
What is your they take a damage every turn for each or each of their turns for each swamp they have. Like, oh my god. Black creatures can't attack.
It was
much more tame now. And so he also has that. He has Vendilion Clicks that could always come in.
Yeah,
a Raven's Crime might be good in this matchup.
Yeah, I like the Raven's Crime.
Ben has a lot of cards to take out. He has 4 swords that are going to go. The Jit maybe can go. I mean, it's not very good in this matchup, though. Maybe it's good enough to keep in. I'm not sure. He's got Surgical. Surgical will be great. He can bring in, probably brings in Dark Confidants, too, I think. And maybe the other Inquisition. He has enough cards to take out. Like, Zealous can come out. Swords can come out. It's 5. I don't know. 3 extractions, 2 Dark Confidant. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure where the other cards are going to come from, but that is the big question that I'm not sure of.
It's interesting. He's got the Force of Will split between the main and the sideboard, 2 and 2.
Just enough to keep him honest, not so much they clog your hand, I guess.
Yeah, I like that.
It's an interesting idea.
I think Drew was talking about that too. He only had you featured him last round. I think he only has 3 Force of Will in the deck, and that's obviously a completely different deck. But it's interesting how the levels of Force of Will fluctuate in Legacy. Where you go from, it seems like a staple that you just play in every blue deck ever, and then it becomes like, well, I can win a GP without Force of Will at all.
You can.
Yeah. In my blue deck. Yeah.
It's possible.
In blue deck, yeah.
I at the last Indy Invitational, I played a Bant deck without Force of Will.
Yeah.
And 5-1 with it. It was good that day. I wouldn't have played it like that the next day, but,
Well, I
once
mean,
in a while.
they always think you have it. That's the
They
thing.
do.
They're
They
always
do.
assuming you've got the force. Like so many times, you've got,
And
worried about you having force.
I just played a lot of matchups where force would have been bad, and every once in a while in Legacy that happens where force becomes. We shouldn't call it bad.
Right.
But
it's average, I guess, or.
There are times where, like, when you're playing another deck that is supposed to be a control-ish deck, that you don't really want force because the card advantage is so big in the matchup that if you have to force things too many times, you're just really far behind. Even though you've gotten your stuff through, unless you're forcing through a Jace,
right,
you just lose a lot of cards.
Yeah, I think what Drew was saying was how it, that Delver list. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of ways of getting card advantage, and he's got like his brainstorms and he's got ponders, but as far as like recouping card advantage, he doesn't have that. So cutting Force of Will seems right. I like the logic, and he going with that. He was also talking about Stifle. Now this is all of this information can be found in the deck tech that I did with Drew earlier, which will be probably streaming right after this match. I saw a thumbs up from Jesse, so you guys can check that out in a bit. But yeah, he talked about, he doesn't play Stifle, and instead plays 4 copies of Spell Pierce. And he said they always play around Stifle. And he's like, so I don't need to. He's like, good players just let Stifle happen, and bad players play around the Stifle. And so he's like, I'm just gonna, I'll let it happen. Let them play around the Stifle if
they want to.
That's what they're gonna do.
They can play around all they want to.
And he's like, I'll counter all the important stuff with Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
So
people do that a lot.
Yeah, I really like Spell Pierce.
All right, looks like we got some action going on. Players, I think they're done sideboarding, or maybe they're still shuffling.
I definitely see.
Ben has mulligan to 6.
Okay. Now, both of these guys I think are really good players. Ben has a lot of experience with this style of deck, so I definitely don't put it past him to pull this one out.
Yep, and Ben draws his 6.
It looked like a reasonable mix,
yeah.
So.
I think he's good enough with it.
All right, so we have Island to Underground Sea. Underground Sea for Ben, and
Dark
Confidant,
Confidant,
just as you predicted. And we have a Spell Snare from, Spell Snare.
Spell Snare.
Spell Snare, Spell Pierce.
And that for Nick, that really makes the Knights of Trail even better that he's got to play against Confidants too. Nick ponders, reveals Wasteland, Ponder, and...
I thought it was another land, but I didn't...
I think it is another land.
Didn't get a good look.
The Wasteland obviously looks very tempting, I think.
Is it a tar pit? I think it was.
It might have been a tar pit.
Okay.
Yep. And wastes the Underground Sea. His big plan this game is to keep Ben off lands.
And we have Marsh Flats from Ben immediately.
Probably getting a Plains. Yep.
A Plains. Yeah. And we have a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yep.
And there it is.
Getting a Batterskull. So again, this is a card that Nick does not have as many ways to deal with this card as you probably could. Obviously, when you're playing black, green, white, or black, green, blue, you don't have too many ways.
Well, there's Diabolic Edict. That'll slow things down.
Yep. And he definitely wants to slow this down and keep Batterskull from coming out anytime soon.
We have another fetch land. Ben draws off the top.
He goes with the non-basic instead. And another Stoneforge.
And does he have a Jite in there, I hope?
I think if he's searching, he probably does.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he just playing it as a Squire?
Maybe he's just going to see. Yeah, he left it in.
And we have a main phase Brainstorm from Nick.
Nick is looking for a way to kill it, and he did. He drew a Ghastly Demise. So he will be able to kill that Stoneforge. And... I think he has another Wasteland to get rid of the Scrubland, but he is still, that the threat of Batterskull still looms.
Yep. So he goes with that exact plan. Yep. Plays the Wasteland, leaves it open, Ghastly Demise on the Stoneforge, and Wasteland the duel. Ben plays
Fetch and
Flooded
passes.
Strand, yeah.
Nick plays Tropical and passes. Now it looks like Ben just drew another creature of some kind.
That's a Dark Confidant that I think he drew.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So,
sacks his Flooded Strand to get a Underground Sea and cast our Confidant. Nick checks, and it looks like does not have a way to immediately counter it. And this is big for Ben. If this can stick for a turn or two.
yeah, that's all he really needs. I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking it was a bad idea to bring in the Confidants against Knight of Souls Betrayal, but if he can land it first and get a little bit out of it.
He has Stifle, or he has Snapcaster Mage.
And that gets spell snared.
Yeah.
Ben. Did they just back him up? Yeah, so tap your land for the Snapcaster, right?
Right. Spell Pierce.
Snare.
Go Spell Snare. And Nick has a Spell Pierce, but he can't use it and still casts anything.
Yeah. Presumably he was going Snapcaster, what's it called? Diabolic Edict.
Then he has another Wasteland, but getting that other land is just less and less important now. So it looks like he's into racing. It is not a great race, but
Well, I mean, the top of Ben's deck could help him. Did he
he
get?
flipped Lingering Souls.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
Taking him down by 3, so he should be at 13, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Which means Nick's next attack will take him at 10. You know, Nick has to worry right now about he can continue to try and sort of keep up with Wasteland and keep him off that Batter Skull. It looks like
Inquisition immediately
Yep.
gets spell pierced from Nick, and Dark Confidant coming in for 2.
and Jit.
Jite from Ben. So is it
And that's-
Jit or Jite?
I always say Jit, but it might be GTA.
Yeah.
Now, of course, for Nick, his racing plan is not looking so hot right now. He can Wasteland land, but he can block and kill the Dark Confidant, but
So
he is in some serious trouble.
yeah, Ben flips land off of Bob, replaces that wasted Underground Sea with a Tundra.
Right, and Nick has not yet drawn a Life from the Loam to sort of take advantage of all these Wastelands. He's drawn all 3 Wastelands though.
He only runs 2
He
Life
runs
from
2
the
Life
Loam.
from Loams. So now he really needs Knight's Soul Betrayal here pretty badly. He needs a way to continue to deal with Batter Skull. I think he just drew is that a Dreaded Knight?
Didn't see it.
It looked like a black card.
So yeah, Ben wisely keeping Bob back rather than let it run it into the creeping carpet.
He's gonna get some whatever card advantage he can out of it.
So he sees Thoughtseize off of Bob. Now he casts Brainstorm.
Land Jace. Magical Seeing. He's still putting Thoughtseize back, it looks like. Yep, he is putting Thoughtseize back.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now he doesn't have access to black mana, although he's got fetches, so I
Yeah.
assume he kind of has access to it if he wants it.
I imagine somewhere in his deck. The Dark Deep reaches of his deck, he probably has.
Yeah, another black
somewhere.
source, yeah.
Which also, I believe, is in Lingering Souls flashback.
Right.
Nick, Raven's Crime. It's going to help, but it's still not, without a Life in the Loam, he
It's
cannot.
not as yet.
He can't fight that Bob for much longer.
It's not nearly as impressive without Life from Below. All right, Flooded Strand from Ben.
And he's up to 5, which is enough for Batter Skull. Now the question for him is, do I risk playing it out, or do I, he knows that Nick is playing around this Batter Skull. So he probably just holds out and sees how much more card advantage the Dark Confidant can get him before he finally dies.
now that he wants to resolve this batter skull, I'm kind of surprised he ditched the Thoughtseize.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised too. Though. I think that he just sees it as more time before he dies. Nick allows the Dark Confidant to hit him for 2.
Yeah, I think Ben was hoping to maybe get Nick to tap a lot of mana there.
Right. Ben is now very mindful of the fact that Dark Confidant could kill him. It looks like he's looking heavily at the Lingering Souls in his hand. Maybe casting that. I mean, he's just up so many cards on Nick right now.
Yeah, every time he spreads out his hand, it looks like he's got like 10 cards there. So, all right, Lingering Souls, sure. Yep. Lingering Souls resolves. We have a Spirit and a second Spirit. And
looks like a Spell Pierce. Because definitely has a counterspell in his hand. He's a Raven's Crime, Dread of Night. That will kill off all those tokens. But it does not do anything to that Dark Confidant. Nick is now just Snapcaster. What does Ben have the flashback to Brainstorm?
Yeah, Brainstorm is the only thing I can think of that he'd be using here. All right, so we get a counterspell on the Snapcaster.
Which I believe just leaves Nick with a Spell Pierce to stop the batter skull.
Yeah, he's got Island Spell Pierce. But Spell Pierce is enough at the moment, but I think, Ben's definitely got another land.
Yeah. Or he could just equip Jit and attack, and Nick can't block that, which then forever locks Nick out of being able to block the target.
Yeah, and that's where he's going.
Yeah.
And that also keeps Ben safe from dying to Bob. Just that extra bit of life.
Yeah, he's just going to get so much card advantage out of this. He'll be able to stick a Jace fairly soon. Spell Pierce from Nick. Still, just not what he needs. He needs a Deed. That's the card he wants. Except it's going to, of course, kill
his Dread of Night.
His Dread of Night, but
his Dread of Night's not doing that much right. I mean, it's keeping the Lingering Souls off the board, but
yeah, he needs to not have this Confidant on the board, and I guess he can just draw. He can just draw like an Innocent Blood or something, but it's hard to imagine that actually resolving at this point.
And Ben has a Force of Will. I think he just drew.
Yeah.
So we're going to game 3 here. Dark Confidant takes that one down for Ben. Yeah, it's interesting. I think Nick just really had a kind of a bad draw there. I mean, he's a little bit flooded. Not seeing Light from the Loam, not seeing a lot of the spells he wanted. Like early on, he was okay, I think, but then just a fairly dead Spell Pierce and an Island, I think, were just all he had there. Dread of Night helped, but it was not. It didn't deal with the important threat.
No, and against his standard pre-sideboard deck, it would have been great because he doesn't have any large non-white creatures other than Snapcaster Mage, but Dark Confidant. Dread of Night does not deal with that. Now, Brian Kibler just tweeted something interesting, because I hadn't thought about this doing the math. He says, everybody who doesn't come to this is crazy, to the Star City Games Invitationals. $50,000 prize pool to 140 players. That's nearly $350 per player on average.
That's nuts.
That is nuts. So, yeah, it's certainly anybody who is qualified for these, there's 3 more this year. Next one's it's already been announced. It's in Indianapolis in June. If you're not qualified, you know how you qualify, right?
Yeah, you go to the invitational qualifiers. We have all that information right here.
Yeah, Star City Games Live is brought to you by Star City Games, and if you haven't heard about it, you can now qualify for the Star City Games Invitational through Invitational Qualifiers held at your local game store. Whether you're a player looking for an invitational qualifier near you or a store owner interested in hosting one of these exciting events, you can learn more by emailing scgiq@starcitygames.com or visiting starcitygames.com/IQ. Or you can just come to a Star City Games Open.
Yeah, and just do well.
Yeah, lots of ways to qualify. Just earn up your points, qualify for the Invitational, come to these events that are paying out on average
Yeah.
$350 per player.
That's just
That
nuts.
I mean, that is crazy.
Somebody's walking out of here with a lot of money.
Yeah, $10,000
And
in giant novelty check form.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not actually walking out of here like, here's the cash.
Here's a bag of
Good
money.
luck, right?
Have
It's
fun.
got a dollar sign on it.
right. That's how they generally how Wizards pays out its stuff.
Yeah, just a
big
it's
dollar
like a
sign
pillowcase
bags.
kind of
Yeah.
pillowcase with a dollar sign on it. Yeah.
With quarters.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, just in case you
That's
get
why
attacked,
you
right?
know how
Right,
much you
just-
won.
In case anybody tries to take it, you've got something to fight off any would-be assailants.
Yep.
So,
Good thing on their part.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you think there's going to be changes now that Nick knows that Ben has Dark Confidants is bringing him in? Or is he
I don't
just
know.
gonna...
I wonder if he still had the Knight of Souls Betrayal, and I would assume he kept it in. But
assume so
if he
too.
was thinking all I need is Dread of Night, I've got 2 Dread of
Right.
Night. I'll replace the Knight of Souls Betrayal, bring in 2 Dread of Night. Maybe he thinks I can basically shave 2 mana off. But at this point, I guess we wouldn't know. But I love his Life from the Loam plan. The problem is drawing the Life from the Loam.
But yeah, we only have 2.
Yeah.
It can be hard to draw one of them.
It's a very good plan to be on, as we saw in Game 1, but doesn't work so well when you don't have it. So.
And it looks like Nick has just put a land, and Ben went turn 1 Ponder. Was he 1 Ponder?
He's going to flip his Delver. I think he does. He has 1 Ponder.
Also an Arena Disenchant, which I think is very classy. He's a Stoneforge Mystic, which I cannot tell if Nick has a way to deal with that or not, if he plays it on turn 2. He does have a Spell Pierce, so he can stop the turn 2 Stoneforge.
You mean Spell Snare?
Yeah, Spell Snare. I'm going to keep calling it Spell Pierce. It'd be much less awkward if there wasn't already a card called that, and it could just be like saying the wrong name because of a different card. And Ben has, of course, learned from the first game the danger of Wasteland, and he is going
fetching
for
only
Stoneforges.
basics. Yeah.
Yep. He announces Stoneforge, and Nick immediately searches for Underground and is going to play the Spell Snare. Untaps a second Wasteland. Not doing a whole lot this game. Ooh. Doesn't have another colored source, it looks like.
Does have a Brainstorm there to
He
help
does.
him, hopefully. But,
Surgical Extraction from Ben Friedman. I imagine that is on the Spell Snare.
that's the only target, right? All right,
Brainstorm response. Because, Nick has a Spell Snare in his hand. He's going to puts back, it looks like, Spell Snare definitely.
Yeah.
And I think it was an Acquisition. Leaving 1 Inquisition in his hand.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got 1 Inquisition already there.
I think he's putting a second Inquisition back.
Yeah, I think...
Oh, maybe not. He's definitely putting...
It was
I did
Spell
not-
Snare something.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to see. So he did keep both Inquisitions. We don't know
Right.
what he put back. That's a Jace.
That
I know.
is Jace.
It's an altered Jace, I think.
Cannot tell what that is. I can't tell if it's a character from Watchmen or if it's just...
And it looks kind of like Rorschach a little bit. But
it does look a bit like Rorschach.
I think Kibler tweeted it earlier.
man.
Let me look. We can both look.
Going sideways. Yeah,
It looks very Rorschach-like.
it does.
Let's see, twitter.com/BMKibler. So for those of you guys following along at home, you can go to twitter.com/BMKibler and see what exactly we're trying to see.
Oh, it's some League of Legends.
That's what I was
character.
wondering about. Like I don't know that game enough.
Yeah, I've not.
Oh yeah, he
played
tagged
yet.
it League of Legends. So yeah.
I don't need another time sink, so I'm trying to stay away from
Right.
League of Legends. It's also one of those free-to-play games where you can buy stuff to get better, and
Yeah, I don't even know. I just know that I see people talking about it, and I don't. I'm sure it's a great game and everything, but again, I don't need another thing to take my time away.
And there's a Confidant. He was trying to force it out, and it looks like he's done it. Now Nick does have a Knight's Soul Betrayal in his hand, I believe. though he has to, and Ben should know that, so I assume Ben has a Force of Will or Spell Pierce or something. And Nick knows that Ben knows.
Yeah. It's like Princess Bride.
Right, exactly.
I know that you know that I have a Knight of Soul Betrayal.
And it doesn't look like
hand.
he actually has a way to stop it. No, he doesn't, but he's... see, he was hoping, I think he was hoping that Nick would tap out to cast Knight's Soul Betrayal, and then he would just cast Jace.
Yeah.
Ooh,
interesting. Oh, and
5.
Bob flips Force of Will.
I don't know how relevant that really is, because I don't think that, that's going to kill him by itself, but... And as, you know, normally you're really happy when your opponent puts a 5.
Yeah.
But I think in Nick's exact situation here, that's not so exciting.
Yeah, that's exactly what he doesn't want to have.
You want to get out that Knight's Soul Betrayal pretty soon. You don't want him to be able to have forceful backup for his Jace. Because Nick does not have a whole lot of ways to deal with Jace very well. No, he does. Oh, he has a Dark Blast in his hand. That's good for him.
Yeah, so he doesn't need to worry too much about
he can deal with that.
About the Bob. Yeah, he can wait until Bob flips it. Maybe if he wants to. No, he can just do it now.
Yeah, he's doing it now. It'd be very hard for him to race at this point. He just needs to keep him off being able to, Force a Will or cast Jace. Ben's thinking about it. Do I Force a Will this? And he does. Force Will's pitching Snapcaster, keeps his Dark Confidant alive for one more turn. I imagine next turn Nick will just dredge and recast.
Yeah.
Ben flips a Pluto Delta.
Draws, I think another Bob.
It might have been.
Having trouble.
The angle is not ideal for seeing what the cards are. Nick down to 15.
He's got Jace, he's got lands, and he's got something that I think was a Bob.
Oh. Pluto Delta, I imagine he's going to get an island with this. Nope, underground. So it must be another Bob.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bob number 2. And Nick wants his Maelstrom Pulse.
Now, I think Nick can just play his Knight's Soul Betrayal here. But then he just has to, if he does that, he's got to hope Ben can't play Jason next turn. Then that lets
we know Ben can play Jace next turn.
Right.
He's got land Jace in his hand. All right, so there it is.
Knight's Soul Betrayal takes those both out. Ben will, I imagine, play his own Jace, which will brainstorm, and then Nick will play his Jace, killing it. And in this whole time period, Ben is going to hope it draws Force Will to stop that from happening.
He draws land.
Land. Not the cards Ben is looking for here.
I don't even think he drew a fetch.
No, I don't think it was either. Just, one was Caracas, I saw.
Yeah, he got Caracas, Tundra, something else. But yeah, there were no fetches.
Is that a Life from the Loam from Nick?
No, I don't know what he drew.
I think he just drew a Life from the Loam.
But we see the Seal of Jace from Nick.
Yep. Inquisition.
And Inquisition from Nick.
Disenchant. Destroys Knight's Soul Betrayal.
Inquisition shows him Caracas. And
Nick's gonna Life from the Loam. Looks like definitely Wastelands and Pluto Delta. And 2 for a Scavenging Ooze. This was a card we talked about him bringing in, and it is going to be excellent right here. It can eat both of those Confidants and grow. It can, yep, there goes another land.
Yeah, it takes away Ben's Black Source there.
Bye-bye 2 Confidants, plus 2 counters, gain 2 life. Oh, no, he got rid of the Stoneforge and the Snapcaster.
Okay. I don't think it matters too much which ones he got there.
Though, Ben just drew a Jace. That is
some luck, yeah. All right, so we've got land, Jace the Mind Sculptor, last card in my hand. Can you deal with it?
Pick up that Scavenging Ooze.
And Nick, I think, just has land, right?
Yeah, he does just have land. I mean, Ben does have to kill the ooze. That's his, first priority. The next,
Nick will just take it out with creeping tar pit, I assume.
I imagine he will. Or he could stack Ben down to 1.
That's true too, yeah.
I think he'll probably take out the Jace though. That seems like the more logical play. Take out the Jace
and replay the use.
Yeah, replay the use. Yeah, takes out Jace.
I guess he's not replaying the use.
Yeah, takes out a
Wasteland. Yeah,
he's got a Spell Pierce to keep yet another Jace between the table. And so his next turn, Explosives for 2. Well, that'll keep Ooze off the table.
Yeah.
But we get another hit with Tar Pit, and Ben checks.
There it is.
Extends the hand.
Very close game there.
Very close game. Those are some very well fought matches.
Yeah, they were. This was really impressive.
I think Nick had the deck that was expected to win in this matchup,
right?
And it takes it down.